Ever catch yourself wondering how a normal society suddenly plunges into chaos, where the things you thought were impossible suddenly scroll by in your daily newsfeed? If you're sure fascism is just a ghost from a distant era or a nightmare that couldn't ever come knocking at your own door, it's time for a reality check. What's unfolding right now is redrawing the line in the sand of what people believe can happen. And honestly, the warning signs are all around us, whether you choose to look or not. Before we get into it, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss any updates from our channel. Trust me, you'll want to hang around, because what's happening is about to flip your view on power, freedom, and what being safe actually means. Picture this. America, famous for the idea it's immune from tyranny, is in the grip of something many said could never take root here. People have been locked in political arguments, distracted by the noise, but something bigger has been slipping through the cracks. It's not just hypothetical. There are detailed reports of hundreds of men being deported by the Trump administration without ever getting a trial. Visualize people simply vanishing, no hearing, no appeal, no second chances. And that's just one thread. Flip the coin and you'll find turmoil shaking the core of the FBI, where job security feels like a fantasy and the unwritten lesson is chilling. Step out of line, speak the truth, and you're out. This shift isn't shouted about in daily debates, but you can feel it, a creeping wave of fear. People start whispering, is it safer to keep your head down to double-check every word before it leaves your lips? Here's something you won't hear every day. History doesn't come tap you on the shoulder with alarms blaring. Instead, these big changes tiptoe forward, inch by inch, until you realize the ground is missing beneath your feet. So let's peel this apart. Some constitutional scholars say we're living through a constitutional crisis, and for the experts who study the slow decay of societies, the echoes from the past are almost too loud to ignore. Some even say the wisest move, if things truly unravel, is to get out fast. Take a look at who's actually doing this. It's the academics, the analysts, those who make their living speaking truth to power. They're packing up for cities like Toronto, chasing a place where they can keep working, keep talking, without the endless anxiety that their words could cost them everything. It's mostly invisible, but it's happening. There's even a lesson tucked away in the dark days of 1933, a warning to see things clearly while you still have the luxury to decide. This isn't a case of people overreacting. When you feel the ground shake, there's always a reason. Look to Russia. When things turned oppressive, those who could grab their chance to leave and started building new communities for resistance. Why? Because when the clampdown comes, you need a safe place to regroup, to organize, to make sure the values you care about don't disappear in the night. It goes deeper. For so long, Americans leaned on checks and balances like some lucky charm. They'd tell themselves, checks protect, balances defend, nothing really bad can ever happen here. But pause and consider. It's the same mindset the Titanic's passengers had, convinced they were on a ship that couldn't possibly go down. Over and over, you hear the refrain about how strong these institutions are, but here's reality. No system is unbreakable, no ship unsinkable. History keeps proving that even the tallest pillars can come crashing down. A lot of people don't realize that calling America exceptional isn't just about pride. It becomes this cushion, something that lets people tune out. If you believe freedom's a sure thing, why worry about defending it? That's where things start to get twisted. Suddenly, the word freedom itself gets warped, turning into something else entirely, a camouflage for control instead of liberation. What lurks beneath the headlines isn't a sudden earthquake, but a quiet, ongoing process. Nobel laureate Toni Morrison warned us, societies don't topple into the extreme overnight. Instead, they inch toward it, barely noticing as each step blurs what's acceptable. This episode is not clickbait. Every day another new policy appears, more lines are crossed, and what was unthinkable yesterday shows up as business as usual today. Behind all this, you sense a chilling question. Who's next? Some call it a permanent state of uncertainty, living unsure if you or someone you love will be targeted randomly. That's intentional, a strategy meant to keep people paralyzed, always glancing over their shoulder, always wondering if the next knock comes for them. Feel the weight of that. For example, a student at a prestigious university has their visa snatched away simply for co-authoring an article for the student paper. So what would you do if a classmate got whisked away without warning? Would you fight back or freeze? The real heart of these cases isn't in a single person's loss. It's in the signal it sends to everyone else. Sit quietly, don't make waves, remain invisible. Few talk about how this atmosphere is manufactured on purpose. In Russian, there's even a word for the helplessness you feel when those in charge are free to do whatever they want, and there's no one to stop them. That kind of power imbalance hovers like a storm over whole societies. When things reach this point, it goes beyond ordinary corruption. It seeps into the mindset, a broad understanding that everyone and everything can be bought if the price is right. Think that sounds far-fetched? It's not. Real deals go down that would have dominated headlines in another era. Critics call these quid pro quo arrangements, deals where the interests of people at the top are used like bargaining chips. Specific reports emerge with jaw-dropping sums. Someone owns Gaza now because he made $2.5 billion in a day, while another powerful player rakes in $900 million. Regular people squint, asking, who's profiting here? Who's getting emptied out? Suddenly, the line between winners and losers goes foggy. In these moments, people whisper old phrases in quiet corners, a Polish saying that every time you think you hit the bottom, somebody taps from even deeper underneath. And in Russia, it's summed up as, there is no bottom, a phrase for the kind of despair that settles in when each day brings a new example of right and wrong blending together. Pay attention. The script flips when power is displayed in plain sight. Suddenly, it's not about the secrets or the things hidden in the shadows. It's about what's flaunted right in your face, and everyone slowly gets used to it. The cruelty, the public spectacle, even the openly sadistic moments, there's no boundary anymore. Talk of a president serving a third term starts cropping up. Edited videos with confrontational titles like ASMR Illegal Alien Deportation Flight get posted, seemingly to provoke and desensitize at the same time. It's as if the system is pushing people, seeing what can be normalized without public outrage. This isn't a prediction for someday far off. It's rolling out now, and it happens out in the open, with policies that get announced and detention centers that get shown off on TV as just another part of the toolbox. It's on all of us to ask, is there a breaking point, or do we just move the line a little further each day until we forget where it even started? The real shock comes not from watching the boundaries snap, but from seeing them stretch until no one recalls they ever existed. Calls for change can't rest just on lawmakers either. You'll hear critics ask why the Democrats aren't swooping in to save the day, but the hidden reality is that even the boldest politicians need a groundswell, a living, breathing platform built by everyday people who show up, who ignite energy you can't ignore. This fight isn't only about courthouse battles. It's about public spirit, shaking up the silence, making sure ideas have room to breathe. Let's take a look at Poland. Even while the country veered toward authoritarianism, the media didn't fully lose its voice. That's a big contrast with Russia or Hungary, where critics risked their lives just to be heard. Because journalists and dissenters in Poland kept speaking up, democracy eventually returned. That one fact changes everything. It's a wake-up that real institutions, the independent press, the universities, the honest courts, matter more than most realize. When these supports vanish, everything else starts to wobble fast. People rarely notice how crucial these spaces are until an empty silence closes in. So why do some places manage to fight their way back, while others spiral further? The uncomfortable truth is this. If you ever find yourself listing all the reasons why you're probably safe, turning them over in your head on repeat, that isn't true freedom. That's fear, plain and simple, and it means the shift has already happened, whether you admit it or not. The parts you used to think were just background now rise to the front, and what was hidden is suddenly in full view. At the end of the day, this whole story isn't just about one party, a single leader, or a particular country. The real takeaway is the fragility of the systems we rely on. It's a loud alarm. The golden age. Everyone reminisces about only stays real if people get up to defend it. Once your eyes are open, you can't just pretend nothing's changed. Ask yourself, do you want to live in a country where everyone's measuring their route to the exits, always doing the math on how risky it is to speak out? Or should people aim for a society where fear isn't hardwired into daily life? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this.